Hello, everyone.
Welcome back. And the topic for today is which marketing experts should we listen to?
hmm Yes, indeed. So there's a lot of experts out there, and there seem to be more and more. As the days go on, there seem to be more and more people, who become visible anyway. So I've been spending quite a bit of time over the last month or so on LinkedIn, and it's extraordinary how many people there are there who help people to, with their marketing of their business and with LinkedIn specifically and all
Mhm.
of that. There's a lot of experts, and some of them I'm sure are not. What they seem, but there are a lot of people who seem to be really good. So they seem to have the references or the
Mhm.
testimonials. What they say makes sense. They've got all these formulas
Yeah,
and things.
we've certainly needed to engage
hmm
with folks like that, and our you know our experience in the past wasn't sometimes great, especially getting started out with
Yeah.
that. How do we know how do we know
Yeah.
which ones to pick? How do you know who to trust?
Right. Yeah, exactly. And I get, pictures by
Hmm.
sort of messenger and that kind of thing from people who and they've got these systems that all seem really good. And as you say, how do we know which ones to choose? And the main piece we want to give you today, so we're not going to bury the lead, as they say. The main piece we want to give you today is that who you choose, who seems like a good idea, or what options seem like a good idea, are determined not by your logical mind, not by your conscious mind, not by objective facts, and not by who actually will get you the results you want, but by what your brain is referring to in the unconscious in your unconscious references. So your unconscious self-image and worldview determine what seems like a good idea and what doesn't, but not based on fact. And I'm going to give you a an example of this. So in addition to our own experiences, and I can share a little bit more about that in a moment, we have we had a client who was looking for she needed people to help her with promoting her business, and she kept finding herself working with people who were not reliable. Now, what was actually happening? So it was a recurring pattern, and it was in different areas of the business. So she would hire someone who seemed like a great person. They seemed like a good match. They seemed reliable. They said all the right things. They had references from other people. So it all seemed like a great idea. And then she would hire them. So she's paying these people. And then over a period of time, she would find that they're not returning her calls, or they're not doing what they said they would do. They kept letting her down. These are all different people. So it may seem far fetched, or it may seem like a coincidence. But what was actually happening in the background is that as her brain was registering certain data, so micro expressions, tone of voice, certain words, where someone else's brain may have picked up red flags and got, oh yeah, no, something doesn't feel right here, her brain was filtering those red flags out and creating feel good chemicals that felt like, no, this is a good match. And the reason it was doing that is because in the moment, her brain was referring to her childhood, which included experiences of feeling abandoned, feeling unheard, not allowed to speak out, those kinds of things. And then it was keeping her in alignment with that. The unconscious part of the brain doesn't keep us in alignment with our goals and our conscious desires, what we consciously want. The brain is always keeping us in alignment with the past, so keeping us the same. So as she was experiencing these people, perhaps seeing someone who would have been reliable, her brain would then trigger stress chemicals because it wasn't a match for her childhood. So then she would feel like, yeah, no, something's not right about that person. And instead, her brain was producing feel good chemicals when it was someone who would let her down. Now we changed those childhood memories, and like within a week or two, she had hired a someone who was helping her to promote her business, who was fantastic. She couldn't get over how easy this person was to work with and how reliable they were and what a great job they were doing. And again, because her brain had she changed the brain's GPS, which meant that it was now keeping her in alignment with people who could be counted on, people who were going to help her make a difference in her business.
Yeah, I I know that this does not make any logical sense
Yeah.
at all. To think about the fact that uh, there's an unconscious system that is running in the background that is actually determining how we're seeing things, how we're interpreting what we're experiencing in the moment. So I know for our own experience that we would be making choices and decisions, and it just felt like, oh yeah, this is exactly what we need.
Yeah.
But then as we're learning, as we're finding those references for ourselves that are back there. So the and I'm trying to come up with, some of those feelings, but those feelings of uh I know for myself, never being good enough, or it's not safe to have, abundance, or
Mm-hmm.
being in those kind of things, those experiences that we felt or that we learned in childhood were then what was really driving the decisions that we were making in the moment that felt like this is the best situation, this is the
Yeah.
best choice to be making in the moment, and recognizing that it was this unconscious machinery operating in the background.
Yeah, the very first marketing expert we worked with that we hired actually came from LinkedIn, and we did a Zoom call with them. Everybody on LinkedIn wants to do a Zoom meeting, so we did that with this person. He seemed like a fantastic option, great fit. He seemed to know what he was doing. All the things seemed right, and it felt right. And so we paid him. Once we started working with him, we started to recognize that he was just basically telling us information that you can find just posted on LinkedIn, basically. So it wasn't specific to our business, it wasn't specific to what we needed. Um, and he didn't actually take any time to go into what it is we do, so in order to know what we needed, kind of thing. So we cut our losses on that. We just thanked him and stopped working with him. And then since then we leveled up. So as we found and changed those unconscious references for ourselves, we found ourselves attracting and being drawn to different types of people, different types of business consultants, and that kind of thing. And then we ended up working with some fantastic ones. So it's about you look at what you're looking at. So the people you're looking at, the businesses or the services that you're looking at, the products that you're looking at, those are all symptoms of what's in you. So if you find that you are attracting or working with the wrong sort of people, or you can't find the right kind of person or business, instead of looking outside at those things, look inside first and change your brain's GPS, change those implicit childhood memories to match the results you want. And then your brain will be filtering out different things. You will see the red flags before you actually commit to something. You will be drawn to those products, services, and people that will help you to achieve the goals you want to achieve. And
And how do we go about how do you go about
yeah,
actually
good
doing
question.
that? And certainly finding those unconscious references, finding those links, those connections that, were those foundational pieces for us in our childhood, is something that is a little bit more complex than something that we can jump into in a short video segment like this. But we do have a masterclass that we would like to invite you to. And I know that Odil's just put that information up on the screen. So I think that that would be a great place to get started discovering, looking for, finding some of those references that are um, influencing the decisions
In
that we're
fact,
making in the moment.
determining. Yeah.
Absolutely,
Yeah. So,
absolutely.
so the link is in the description, and that masterclass will give you all of the background that you need in order to understand how those references are created and how they can be changed. All right. So, is that it for now? I think so. Let us know, as always, if you have any questions
Absolutely.
or any requests.
And we'll talk to you soon.
All right. Bye.